We're really excited to partner with Major League Baseball on this. Home Run Derby X is a co-ed, fast-paced, 3-on-3 home run derby competition that's also going to include some local talent as well. And we'll get to that shortly, but we're joined by three of our local Middle Tennessee residents who are going to participate with these guys, with some incredible females as well. And before we do that, I did want to introduce our broadcaster, Jeff Him, who's going to ask a couple of questions, and then you're going to hear from these guys because you guys hear from me enough. So welcome Jeff Him, our broadcaster, to ask a few questions.
All right, Jeff, appreciate it.
Hello, Jeff.
Yeah, Nick, I know you're kind of the veteran of this event. You've done it a couple of times. It's new to Nashville, new to First Horizon Park. What gets you so excited about this event? Because people know what a home run derby is most of the time, but this is a very unique event.
Yeah, I guess I could start off by saying, number one, I'm a girl dad, so my daughters are sick of seeing me hit. So now that they've got some new role models to look up to, I think it's absolutely amazing. Listen, at the end of the day, it's just another way to consume our game, right? I mean, we have Major League Baseball, which is the pinnacle, is where you want to be. But at the end of the day, this is our version of the Big Three. This is our version of 3-on-3, home run derby, offensive and defensive style play. And for us, to be able to come to an amazing ballpark like this right here in Nashville, man, we can't wait to come here, show the city exactly what we got, as well as to learn to earn some new fans along the way. Because listen, I mean, if you love baseball, then I can promise you, you're going to love Home Run Derby X.
Manny, let me see if you ever hit any home runs here. Let's see, 555. That's pretty good.
But let me tell you, I'm a rookie in the Derby. He's the champ. He's the champ. I gotta get some tips. So Nick.
Okay. So what are you thinking about this event? How excited are you for this?
The event is gonna be awesome. It's gonna be crazy. We're trying to bring the fans back. We're trying to bring the fans so they can see our swings. And we also got some local guys that I'm very excited to see them how they hit.
Yeah. How's your swing these days? You ready for this?
Not good. Not good. Not good.
I feel like
my
you're
swing
being
is not
modest
that
here.
good. I got 2 bad knees, but I still could swing.
Nick, you both have mentioned the local component, and you've been at this event a couple of times. How key is the local component? Because after all, the competitor and you guys, you want your team to win, and you've got a very important part of that with these local participants.
No doubt. I mean, and it was an absolute pleasure for us to talk last week, which has been amazing. And at the end of the day, it's a way to just involve the community a little more, to let them understand, like, hey, we want to be in this with you. And I think that's one of the reasons why this works so well for us in minor league stadiums. And that's exactly what the fan wants. The fan wants to be able to have the same ability to go out and compete with us and against us. And whoever's on my team, awesome. I can't wait to find out. But I think just in general, let me expand just a little more than just being able to have the local talent. The fact that we have a name like Manny Ramirez to be able to headline our event here in Nashville is an absolute blessing for all of us, as well as for the brand of Home Run Derby X. This man, there's nothing he hasn't been able to do on the baseball field, and we could not be more blessed to be able to have him now attached to Home Run Derby X. We're slowly starting our build, and we're starting to get this brand out there a little more each and every year. So the fact that we have willing participants of his style, and the fact that, like, you just listed it off, man. The man has hit more home runs than all of us could probably count. So the fact that he's being able to be here, the fact that we have some unbelievable talent coming with him as well on the female side as well as on the male side, could not be more blessed to be able to be attached to all this stuff, and I can't wait to bring this show to Nashville, because I can promise you're going to love it.
I want to say something too, how sweet it is to involve the community, because I'm pretty sure, you know, these guys saw us play in the big leagues, and they never thought that they could be next to Switch and me. And for us to see them here with us, it's telling the community, hey, if my friend is doing it from the community, I could do it too. Let me work hard and see if I could get an opportunity to participate in the Home Run Derby.
Nick, when you're in the middle of it and your team is trying to compile as many home runs as possible, what's the wrinkle in this that's become really interesting to you in the past 2 instances, that almost, whether it's a strategy or just how this kind of unfolds for a team concept? Well,
don't get it twisted. I mean, it's definitely competitive. And we can all be nice and buddies here on the outside, but once we get on that platform and we start hitting it, it turns the engines back on. So I think for me, the biggest piece of advice that I would give any of us contestants is the cardio aspect of this. It's not a pitch-by-pitch sort of situation like we used to do in the home run derby. We used to be able to take our time, take the pitches. Now you got 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So that's kind of one of those things where maybe I've upped my cardio just a touch. Exactly. Trying our best to do it because, listen, as awesome as it is to be able to go out there and to be able to hit and compete in a home run derby again, I mean, the bottom line is we're trying to do our best for the game, for the brand, for Major League Baseball, and do the best that we can to continue to gain new fans. Because for all of us, man, what a pleasure and a blessing to be able to play this game at the professional level, but even more of a blessing to be able to come here when your career is over and you're still able to make an impact on the young generation and to let them know that, hey, this game is fun, this game is a blast, and you can go out and give everything you've got, but enjoy every second that you get out on that field.
Yeah, before we open it up for questions for the media, Manny, elaborate on that post-playing career for you. I mean, I know your son is headed to UT. You're obviously still involved in the game as a parent, but it's clearly a game that you played for a long time at a very high level. What is important to you to kind of pass on to fans of the game following your playing career?
And like Switch said, the most important thing is to pass all the knowledge that you gain when you play in the big leagues. And now that you're not playing, that you could brought to the community still knowledge and that hungriness to keep doing what you love.
Good stuff. Good stuff. We will open it up to anybody who's got questions.
And before we take any questions, I just want to say I've had the pleasure to walk around with these guys this morning in advance of this press conference. The fan interaction he talked about, that's what these guys, that's what this event's all about. This is entertainment, but it's interacting with kids, with youth, with the community, and it's going to be a blast out here on August 31st.
Go ahead.
Both of you in your heyday when you were on the field were two of the biggest characters baseball had seen. How does the competition aspect blend with the entertainment? Because clearly this kind of suits both of you.
Yeah, it's a
extremely
little bit of a mix of Major League Baseball and a little WWE as well. So I think for all of us, I think that's really kind of what we're working on this week. Obviously, we've got a couple venues that we have to come to before we get here to Nashville. So we'll make sure we get it all plumbed up and we're good to go. But I think run of show, I think, is the most important thing. And I think that not only are we trying to gain great athletes, but we're also trying to gain like great showmen, like great showwomen, like people that want to go out and that want to perform in front of crowds and want to get the crowd all pumped up and want to utilize them for everything that they have. So for myself, along with with Kellum Salter, with Charlie Hill, like they came up with this idea, and I could not be more blessed to be attached to it because this fits our personalities. This is that release that we're both looking for. So to be able to have something like this, as well as you can see the list right here, the fact that Pedro Alvarez will be back in the building like he just did when he was with Vandy, it's going to be absolutely amazing. Andrew Jones, I mean, I can't even say enough about him and just the things that he's able to accomplish, as well as the female competitors that we have. I know 3 of the women that are competing. I have not met Mia Smith-Davidson just yet, but I'm sure I will. I'll hit her up on Instagram and talk to her a little bit just to give her a little bit of an idea of what we're doing. But I think just for all of us, this is a show for the fans. And the fact that we're able to be the people at the forefront of this amazing game, it could not be more of a blessing because we're going to go out there. As much as we're going to compete against each other, I can promise you we're going to have just as much fun doing it.
And it's like Nick said, it's a show and it's for the fan, but once we cross the line, we want to compete. We want to give it all to the fans so they could see our best. And it's going to be great because Switch is the best. He got an awesome personality. I got another personality, and we're just going to go and compete and have fun.
Any other questions from?
Nobody's got any questions?
Go ahead, Jill.
I have a question for you guys. I'm curious about the strategy part of it. I'm sure that will come into play. You guys will talk with your teams closer too, but I think what makes this very fascinating is the defensive perspective,
Sure.
right? That's the big difference with the home run derby. Have you had those conversations, and maybe what can you tell fans that were interested in terms of that perspective and that strategy?
Well, that's a great question, and I think that's one of the cool things about where we have taken this game. It started off in the outfield with only 2 people on the field playing defense. Now we have all 3. And so I think that's what's great about the game is that if you want to play in the big leagues, you not only need to be able to hit, you need to be able to play defense as well. And so this is kind of one of those things when I look at the younger generation of like these young kids that are playing our game, the fact that it doesn't take a whole lot to play Home Run Derby X. It just takes a couple cones, a wiffle ball, and a bat. You don't need gloves. You don't need all of that stuff. So I think for all of us, it brings the joy back of playing the game. And I think the one thing that we really appreciate most is that defensive aspect of it, because as much as it is hitting home runs and how much fun that is, being able to make a diving catch or being able to make a catch in the outfield is worth the same amount of points as it is for a home run. So I think the strategy aspect of it is, listen, everybody has their 2 minutes and 30 seconds to be able to do their damage. And you want those individuals to take all 2 minutes and 30 seconds if they can. No one needs to be jumping in on somebody if they roll over a few pitches. And I think we learned that last year in the few events that we had, that sometimes there can be someone that can be tagged in. Now, that usually happens in the finals when everybody's a little tired and the whole 9. But that semifinal game, you're going to see all 2 minutes and 30 seconds of the best swings that you can see from all competitors. And on the defensive side, I think you'll be very impressed at how much effort is actually given on the defensive side. Because as amazing as it is to be hitting home runs into the crowd and the whole 9, I can promise you the crowd gets just as juiced up for a diving play in the outfield as well.
I feel like Andrew Jones could probably still go get it. Just a hunch.
I mean, he got enough gold gloves to prove it.
Manny, what do you think about the defensive component of this?
Well, it's my first time doing it, and it's true what he said. You gotta compete, and not only hitting, it's also about hitting. It's about defense also.
Go ahead.
How did the whole construction of, I guess, rosters and bringing people in go? Because clearly you brought some massive baseball stars, but also some of the best softball players the NCAA has ever seen.
Not some of the best softball players and the best women hardball players as well. So I think that's kind of one of the things. I think Major League Baseball's done a tremendous job, as well as Charlie and Kellum. I have to give those guys a lot of credit. We've got Jesse and Casey here with us today representing Major League Baseball. So the fact that Major League Baseball has given us this opportunity to go out and get the best players that we can get. And just like when we started talking about this 3 years ago, this was the whole game plan, to be able to finally get this sort of talent like a Manny Ramirez and an Andrew Jones and a Pedro Alvarez. And like I told Kellum from the beginning, if we continue to keep getting these massive names, brother, I'll step back. I don't have to hit. I can be in the suit and tie on the backside working the VIPs, the whole 9. Because at the end of the day, it's all about growing the game. And so I think that on top of the personalities as well as the talent we're bringing, nobody has an agenda other than to make this game better. And I think that's the best part about it. We've got an amazing group of individuals on the male and the female side, as well as meeting some of the new contestants that we'll be competing against this year, which is going to be amazing. We're going to have people in Durham. We're going to have people in Nashville. We got people in Albuquerque. We got people in Fort Wayne, Indiana. That's going to start to spread. And people are going to start to understand that, hey, if I can go out and compete in these sort of competitions, then I'm going to get myself back in shape. That high school player that told everybody how good he was at 35 years old, baby, I want to see you out here. And so at the end of the day, you can show us how good you are. You don't have to tell us how good you were. You can just show us. And so I think that's one of the coolest things. And even for myself, I mean, I'm 44 years young. So the fact that like this still keeps me in shape and gives me something to do on a year in and year out basis, I think that's what it's all about. We've been given an amazing platform. We've been given an amazing opportunity to come and compete in this ballpark, in the Sounds ballpark. And so we're going to go out there and we're going to give you guys the best show that we can put on.
And just to add on roster construction, like Major League Baseball has worked hand in hand with the Sounds, with our local talent. Eric Sogard, former Brewer, was here on site for our tryout. Competition, the level of competition is the central cog in all of this. They want the teams to be balanced. They want them to be fair, but everybody who's doing this has to be able to hit. And so that was key in this as well.
Any other questions?
Nick, will be some trash talking out there?
I usually do a little trash talking in the locker room, just throw little seeds of doubt in there. Be like, hey, you still think you can do this? Things like that. Nothing big. Just, I want you to get out there and just do a little thinking. That's all I'm trying to do.
Nick, once the teams are known and Team Swisher gets together for the first time, since you've been in this a couple times, the message will be what?
Oh, bro, that's in-house stuff. I can't give up all my good information. I can't give all my stuff, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to juice Manny up, dude. I'm trying to juice my squad up, you know? So I just think in general, this is so much fun, and I can see kind of the smiles on y'all's faces. I hope you feel the joy that's coming out from the fact that just a couple guys that can't really do it at the professional level get the same opportunity to come and compete in front of a packed house, a packed crowd. This ballpark is absolutely fantastic, and once you see the overall setup and how amazing our stage is and how amazing the LED lights are and the fireworks display we have, it's going to be absolutely badass. So I can't wait for everybody to be there. I can't wait for you to experience this, because as much as we're trying to get it out and to let you know exactly how it's going to go down, until you get there, until you bring all your friends and you get to see how this show goes down, I can promise you it's going to put it up there with the bananas. There's no doubt about it.
Good stuff. Any other questions from media?
Manny, it's been a few years since you retired. How excited are you to be able to pick up a bat and go to work again?
Actually, I got a cage on my house, so I pick a bat every day. But I hit every day, so I'm really excited to come on the show and in the Derby and interact with Switch and also the local guys. And it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a good show. We're gonna compete, but we also gonna talk trash.
I know what's coming. And if there's one more thing I could say, the one thing that I would really want people to understand is how intimate of a crowd this is and how accessible these athletes are. And the fact that we've got an Andrew Jones and we've got a Manny Ramirez and a Pedro Alvarez, as myself included, along with our female competitors we have, you are physically going to get the chance to say hi to each one of these people. And I think that's the difference between a Major League Baseball game and a venue like this. So for all of us, we can't wait to get here. My goal is to high-five every single person in the stadium when we have this sort of night. So it's going to be absolutely amazing. August 31st, put it on your calendars, y'all, and we'll see you guys here at the ballpark that night. That's what I'm talking about. Get it going. I've been staring at y'all the whole time. I was waiting. I knew you were with me, bro. I saw you.
Tickets are available anywhere tickets can be purchased, NashvilleSounds.com, Ticketmaster.com. We have Corey Lubinsky, Bailey Holbrook, and Kyle Bowers, local talent here available for interviews. These guys will be available for one-off interviews as well. And thank you guys so much for being here today. Well done.
Yeah, buddy, you got it. That's what you want to see on your phone. My wife will be shit for not taking the trash out this morning. Wait to go back to that one. That's it. Hey, you too. You guys good? Awesome. Great. Just got to town this morning, got the first pitch, and then I got to shoot back tonight. So I'm just trying to get everything going. We've got the first event at 10 before Wayne. And then Albuquerque, which I missed. They're doing the 15-year anniversary World Series in New York for Old Timers Day. So that's going to be badass. No, I'm going there. But I'm going to miss Albuquerque. The name will be missed. What I wanted to do was, I was not here. Your Air Force.